gentlemen, it's the vwnut 1967 channel on YouTube. You are looking at, mostly at my 1964 boat. There is my beautiful puppy dog, Patina. We'll get you guys situated. Patina is taking a look outside. What we're here to talk about today, you probably gathered from the title, is a question I get a lot. Alright, so now that we've changed batteries, anyway, what we're here to talk about today is the transformation of paint and what products I use, and how it is I go about that. I had a question asked of me. Let me move you guys so I can talk and read the questions a little bit easier. Alright, so good old Mike at Good Old Mike's Garage on YouTube. Link in the description. I'll also link the video that that he put up of the truck that I'm going to talk about in just a second. He commented on one of my videos. I need some recommendations for wax and polish on my 77 Ford truck, to know what products you would recommend. This is a question I get a lot in the comments. Not a lot, but enough that I'm going to make a video about it. And the best thing that I could do is, I took a look at Mike's truck, and if you go see the video in the description, you can get a good look at Mike's truck. I have some pictures. Let me see if I can find them right here. I have some pictures of Mike's truck that I'm looking at right now. And it's, after watching the video, Mike, and looking at the pictures you sent me, the paint is in pretty good condition. So I thought to myself, do I have anything here on the property that's in close to the same condition as yours? And I do. So I've gathered together a little care package, because it's at the other end of the property is the vehicle we're going to go used for. But there's a bunch of different methods to preserving old paint. Not that the paint on Mike's truck is old, but the paint on this car, sorry for that, the paint on this car is old. And there's even spots on this car that are preserved right now underneath just wax. I mean, you can clear coat, like I've said in previous videos. My friend Musty One used toilet ring wax on his 59 single cab, but this is bare metal, and the only thing covering that is a coat of wax, and that's been like that for months now, out driving around. So the way that we do it here at the vwnut Garage is we start with a light compound, and the best recommendation that I can give anybody is try a spot. So that's what we're going to go out and do. By hand, we're just going to try an inconspicuous spot on a vehicle that I have here on the property, and I'm going to show you guys how I go about trying a spot, and if I'm happy with the results, then we'll talk about how we go about doing one small spot at a time and working our way through the car. Getting into buffers and things, I mean, you got to be a little bit brave when it comes to that, because you can really screw up a car, and some of learning how far you can go with a buffer is by going, at least for me, it was by going too far. So let's take a quick walk outside, and we'll get you guys set up on a vehicle, and I'll show you guys the care package right now that we got to take out there, and then we'll head out there. Alright, so just the Meguiar's Ultimate Compound, not sponsored by Meguiar's. Like I said in a previous video, I'll say it in this one too. I like the Meguiar stuff because you can get it locally at any of your regular auto parts stores, or your big box stores. Like the Meguiar stuff is a good product. I found it to be a good product. It's easy to find. I'm just taking a wax applicator pad and a couple of microfibers with me. That's pretty much the care package to take out to the vehicle, and we'll head out there and get you guys set up. So we're out here to bust named fish, and There are parts of this bus named Fish whose paint is pretty close to Mike's paint on his truck. So for Mike, we will use a small spot on Fish. Bettina came with us just in case we needed somebody to make sure that there was no nefarious furry woodland creatures trying to under attack us while we were doing this out here. So we'll get you guys stabilized first, and I'll go through what I do. We'll get Bettina hooked. Oh, how's that for stabilized? Perfect. Hey, you're wrecking stuff. Get over here. Alright, so I think you guys are safe this time, it won't fall. The spot I'm going to work on is, I'm just going to I always try to find an inconspicuous spot, and I know this isn't optimum cleaning conditions, but this isn't optimum paint either, but it's going to work for this. I'm just going to do a spot right here. And what I'm going to start with is, like if you have rust showing and things like that, you can use some of a couple of my other videos on the bug. You see I've wet sanded that whole 64 bug in there, and you can do that and that will take the surface rust off. I just use a little bit of compound right there on a microfiber. You can also put it on if you want it on there. This can be a little more aggressive if you wanted. This is pretty mellow. So I always try and start with the mellowest. That's actually probably too much compound. But then we're just going to work that right in there, into that spot right there. That's the grass, Bettina. It's good. And then take a clean microfiber and just kind of wipe that off, and you can already see the difference right there. Like that would tell me that I would take the buffer and probably a foam pad at a low speed, low RPM, and when I say low RPM, probably under 1500, and probably a light buff pad and the same compound, and start to do like small sections of the car. Like I would probably do from this line right here, I would do that section at once and then another small section. But always try a spot first and see, like you can oh, it's definitely coming out in the camera, you can see. The difference right there. So that's how we do it here. And then I would, then I would put a couple coats of wax on it just to seal it. That's what I would do. We have another bus over here, Mr. Moss, and it'll be a little more dramatic. We'll go do the same spot on him. So I'll move you guys over there, you guys and Bettina, and we'll do a spot on Mr. Moss using the other buffer pad. The other wax application pad, this one, and we'll see some more dramatic results. Also do it in the shade, like inside in the shade, for sure. If it was me, that's how I would be doing it. Bettina, hey, what are you doing? Get over here. Sorry, we gotta wait for the dog. The spot I'm going to try on this bus right here is going to be this spot right here. You can see that the paint is in not the greatest condition, but I believe that I would probably, if this bus was in a condition to be anything other than parts I would probably do the same thing to this paint that I did to the paint on the 64 bug. You can get the dog over here, then we'll get started. Alright, so just a little bit of compound. Then the clean microfiber. And that's what we mean by tri-spot. So that is a little more of a dramatic result just because of the initial condition of the paint. I mean, that happens sometimes. So when it comes to what we do here, that's how we do it. First, we just try a spot. That's not really an inconspicuous spot, but this bus isn't going anywhere anytime soon, so that's okay. I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for hanging out with us, me and Patina especially. And we will see you guys in a couple of days. We'll get you over. We got most of the garden planted. On our way out of here, we'll get you over there and I'll walk you guys through the garden and give you an update on the garden. Alright, so here's this year's garden layout. Right here, rows of corn, pole beans, rows of onions. Inside the temporary chicken pen, the chickens are taking care of the wire worms where the potatoes go. I'll insert the clip right here. My pit bull, she is sunning herself in the yard. Are you sunning yourself? What's crashing through my woods over there? But we're planting the garden today, more of the garden today, but we were talking to the lady at the farm store about our potatoes, because last year we had some sort of worm in our potatoes. I'll show you as soon as I find. Here's the bucket. We had, you see him down in there? Good shot. There we go. You see him down in there wiggling around? So we had them little guys in our potatoes. So instead of using a insecticide or something, or like a slug repellent or whatever that wouldn't work, she suggested that we throw a few chickens in here. So I just gathered some parts up from around the house here, and whatever we could, screens and old storm windows, and built an enclosure for them. And they are having a heyday in here, just eating them up. And so for a couple of days during the day, the chickens will be in here just feasting away on these guys. And the lady at the farm store said that'll probably give us the best luck at getting them out of our potatoes. These 3 chickens should probably take care of that problem. We'll probably give it, let's say we'll probably give it 3 or 4 days is my guess. Alright, I'll show you guys here in just a second what else we're going to get into. Thanks, girls. Okay, you've seen the chickens doing damage in there. Over here we have carrots and parsnips. The tomatoes aren't in the ground yet, but they will go right here. 12 plants. I think that's 12. 2 rows of 6. The peas are coming up good. all along the pallets. Then over here we have 2 rows of 3 of Brussels sprouts in the back, and then 3 kale right here. And we'll keep you guys updated. I'd like to thank each and every one of you again for being here, and we will see you in a couple of days. Well, we're still planting the garden, but this morning we needed a couple more bales of straw, so instead of having to vacuum out the inside of the Jeep, we just took the 67 bug and put the bales of straw right on top. Ruby didn't mind one bit, handled it no problem. We'll get those off of there, and when the garden's planted, we'll show you where everything is.